You ready? Oh, okay, good. So we're live streaming this so that the people that are off island, which is a big part of our membership and population and sustainability, so we want them to be able to watch this if if they can. It will also be recorded so that people could watch it after if they weren't able to tune in now, because we know we all have busy lives. So welcome and thank you for staying. It's really important that we know what we have and what we're working with in 2025. And we ask that we're just grateful, first of all, very grateful for you staying, very grateful for all you've given and all you've been this whole year. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Our beautiful people
and online, thank you, thank you. And please let us know you're here if you're online, because we are taking attendance. And also, we're going to save our questions for the end. We're not going to interrupt it during the middle, so we can get through these.
Write it down.
So write it down if you have a question. And we'll say, okay, does anybody have any questions? And then you'll be able to ask questions, okay? So let's see, what else? Okay, that's it. So let's just take a moment. Reverend Diane was supposed to do this, but she couldn't be with us, so I will do it. So let's take a deep breath and ground ourselves in this present moment, in this infinite creative intelligence that moves through each and every one of us, that is the highest order of everything, that is harmony and love. And so I know that that's what I bring to this time together today. I come from that highest place, and I'm knowing that for each and every one of us as we focus on the forward movement of Center for Spiritual Living Kauai and its Institute of Magnificence. I give gratitude for this time, for us showing up at this divine appointment, and I know that it unfolds perfectly as I release my word as law with gratitude, as I say, and so it is. Thank you. All right, so that being said, you know, I'm going to switch these two things. I'm going to introduce you to the board first.
Right.
All right, so I'm switching it.
Yeah.
All right, because it makes sense. So we have an amazing board of trustees. They are so dedicated, and they keep Patrick and I. Hello? Can you close that? I'm sorry, I don't want to have to compete. They keep Patrick and I very stable and they are not a yes board. We were just talking about that. They always have their own opinions about everything, and they've halted a few things that we wanted to do. So I just want to give gratitude for them. Roseanne Jones, Peggy Jerry, Melissa Mojo, and Patrick and myself. And the reason we're on the board is because thank you. The reason that we're on the board is because our original bylaws that we set up with Centers for Spiritual Living allows us as founding co-pastors to be on the board forever if we want to. So, just forever if we want to. Anyway, so we're here. So I'm going to have Peggy come up and read the roster of members that signed up to be members this year, because we started this sustaining member because it's not enough to just say, I'm here, We need to know that we're supported as a center and that we can go forward. And if you want to know what it means to be a member, Angela has the forms back there. They are on our website. And it's a give and take, because we offer to the membership also for being sustaining members. So she's going to read the list that we have, because we renew it every year. So if you're not on this list and you think you're supposed to be on this list, and we're not trying to trap you, you can leave anytime you want, but we want to know. It's not like, a cult or something. We just need to know that this center is supported and sustained. So Peggy will read those names, and if you're not on it when it's over and you want to be on it, go back. Angela will be waiting.
So these are the names that responded to the email sent out earlier this year. Angela Phillips, Beth Levin, Brad Kiefer, Deanna Kears, Joan Morgan, Joe and Joni Vancilas, Joyce Shoemaker, Reverend Laura Stewart and Greg Stewart, Linda Robbins, Marion Head and Glenn Head, Marion Summer, Melissa Mojo, myself, Peggy Jerry, Reverend Diane Decker, Sue Buckley, Reverend Dr. Rita Andriello-Feren and Reverend Dr. Patrick Feren, Reverend Dr. Walt Weiss, Reverend Dr. Jose Ludencia, Reverend Dr. Karen Oxrider, Roseanne Jones, Sherry Teal, Sharon Guthrie, Suzanne Carmen Stouffer, and Ron Stouffer.
Melissa, our board member, I don't want to say one other thing about the board. We have an emeritus board member. Her name is Joan Morgan. I don't know if any of you really know her, but she is like, she's been with us since day one, from the time we decided to start a center. Her and her husband, Richard, who passed away, were like our go-to people. He was an accountant, and they've run centers, and they know. So, and she's decided to stay with us as an emeritus board. So she comes to our board meetings, and we listen to her because she's wise, and she has our back too. So I just wanted to mention that because I didn't mention her, and I know she's watching today. Okay, so let me get that out of you.
To turn it on. So I'm going to talk about the mission, the vision, and our values. So our mission is to offer a safe space and the spiritual tools to facilitate the awakening of the individual's inner power to express successful relationships, optimum health, and a prosperous and creative life. That sounds pretty good to me. And our vision is to awaken humanity to its magnificence by crossing the bridge from duality to unity consciousness. We've got 8 values: commitment, self-love, self-responsibility, authenticity, transparency, trust, respect, and collaboration. So we are committed to walk our talk as examples of the vision, and the mission. In terms of self-love, we are aligned with our heart center, and we love others as we love ourselves. There's self-responsibility. We are the creators of our experience, and we accept that. We practice the principles and move through from victim consciousness to living as self-empowered beings. We value authenticity. We dare to be vulnerable and to tell our truth with compassion and clarity. There's transparency. We see things from a higher viewpoint so that we can share the process. We can share our process with strength. And underlying it all is trust. We trust that every experience is here for our expansion and our growth. Everything's unfolding perfectly in our favor. We trust that our leadership teams, staff, and members are carrying out their responsibilities with excellence as well. And we value respect. We value other people's perspectives, boundaries, viewpoints, uniquenesses, and differences if they hurt no one and add good to the world. And finally, we believe in collaboration. We'd like to use our unique talents and gifts to bring the common goal and the vision of CSL Kauai into action into the world. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to just do a brief recap of 2024, and what's interesting about it is we thought we had done nothing. We were like, well, what did we do? And then we started to make the list, and we were like, oh my God, we really did a lot. So sustainability efforts. 2024 was focused on sustainability and adjusting to the expenses in our new space. And there were new expenses and things that we didn't anticipate. And we've done well at sustaining. Community support. Reverend Diane Decker and Sue Buckley launched a full-time food drive for the Kauai Food Pantry. Continued involvement and tithing to Pride Parade. We continued that. Collaborated with Susan Wood on a fundraiser to build a well for Aid Africa. Workshops and events. We hosted a successful workshop fundraiser with Dr. Dawson Church, who shared his work in EFT and brain science. We welcomed Dr. Eric Overholzer twice for 9D breathwork workshops. We opened our space for Dances of Universal Peace with Stream Bakanov. Beth Levin hosted a one-time yoga workshop, and Jeanette Bloom began weekly yoga classes on Tuesdays. We coordinated for the very first time with the Bon Dance with the Hungwanji mission, and it was a big success. We worked well together. We hosted 2 global meditations with Dr. Joe Dispenza. And then facility and volunteer contributions. We created and distributed hotel packets to advertise events. Thank you to the volunteers that did that, and also to Melissa, who put together the flyer that we did, and also to Angela for coordinating that. So we now have in the hotels that says that we're here with the things that we do. We developed a new welcome packet for the first-time attendees at Sunday celebrations. Anna Strom volunteered to clean the bathrooms twice a month after we requested a cleaning service. So we were like at our wits' end because we didn't want everybody to have to feel responsible for cleaning the bathrooms. And she just stepped up and said, I'll do it. And she does it gratis and as a gift to the center. We remodeled the bookstore, though income has been limited due to difficulty acquiring books at a reasonable price. So we're working on that, And then Ron and Reverend Suzanne Stover donated a community bulletin board that is out there for our community. Ongoing programs. We continued our Labyrinth nights, spiritual cinema, and the Come Contemplate Healing Circle. The Labyrinth remains open Tuesdays through Fridays, 11 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. for visitors. Men's and women's groups and Rap with the Revs continue monthly. A beach cleanup behind the center was organized by Reverend Diane and Sue Buckley once a month. Angela initiated both a day of caring at the center and a volunteer social that is monthly. Celebrating our community, we acknowledge member authors with book signings and a special flyer and putting their books in the bookstore. We implemented an annual volunteer luncheon. Thank you to Kiana for co-sponsoring that. Thank you. We ended the year with a candlelight service and the New Year's Eve Burning Bowl Whitestone ceremony. And we also, Kalanta the Cat adopted our center in November, bringing joy to our community. So we're grateful for that. Financial achievements. Our annual telethon in November raised $20,000. And since 2013, we've given away $191,590 to those who spiritually nourish us. Special fundraisers and celebrations. Upon returning from Italy, Dr. Rita and Dr. Patrick hosted an Italian night travelogue fundraiser featuring food and stories. Creative contributions. Internationally acclaimed artist Carol Watanabe began creating a mural for our center. Thank you, Carol. I think you're here. There you are. And you can all see that beauty. Digital growth. We successfully revamped our website. This was a big thing to improve user experience. So we have a brand new website. Milestones. Reverend Rita and Reverend Patrick received their doctoral degrees in 2024. So that was our 2024. There might have been other things, but if you think you know of one, just come see us later and we'll put it on the list. We're very happy to have lots of stuff happening. And now I'm going to turn the time over to Dr. Patrick to do 2025.
Well, you guys are quick. Let me just see if I'm turned on.
You said you wanted them out of here in an hour.
Well, it's not that I wanted them out of here. We went over the last years. Like I said, this has been a very interesting week. We went over the last years of what happens at the meetings, and there was a lot of things that happened. A lot of people getting out, talking about stuff, and that's not really what we're really here to do. You kind of want the nutshell of what's going on. So we cut that way. What I wanted to start with too is how important the purpose of why we're here. The purpose of CSL Kauai and the Institute of Magnificence. I did some homework this week, and I started a little bit in the talk. I realized that we're smack dab in the middle of Kaua'i, right? And we raised a lot of money to get here, and it's wonderful, and it's growing. So that's the positive thing. But I thought, I'm looking over there, and I'm looking over there, and I looked at the Mormon church down here, Christian church across it, and I started going into their worlds and finding out what they're doing and what they stand for, and then what do we offer That was what came up this week, and it's still work in progress. But I know that when these started out, as I said earlier, Ernest Holmes didn't want a church because of the dogma, didn't want a center, didn't want any of that. But he also was big, and right in line with Rita and I, he was big on the education, on the tools given so that you can have these incredible lives, not that you don't, but how to really go from a place of self-love and not just have events for the sake of having events. Events, how are they going to serve the community? How are they going to serve our center? And so looking through that, I found this incredible. Now, I'm going to do a little AI thing for a moment. I was against AI, but I'm going to tell you something. It's like a personal secretary, if you know what I mean, because it cut it down. And so I said, well, what could it offer me if I asked, why would anybody come to CSL Kauai? Why? We just had a workshop the other day. Why? And this year, we're building up our membership. Why? Because the more numbers we have, the more volunteers we have, the more funding we have, and the more that lives can be changed. We've had a really great revelation this week, trust me. Your leaders have been in incredible bunk it down and find out really what's going on, because the change has to be why people come here. I know there's a lot of talk of outreach. We must start with in-reach too. And that's the thing that really is there. But I was asking a couple questions. It says CSL Kauai provides, and it's the same thing I wrote, CSL Kauai provides a welcoming, non-judgmental environment for individuals from all spiritual backgrounds. It celebrates the universal principle of love, kindness, and interconnectedness, offering a safe space for exploration and spiritual growth. That is why we came here, was to provide an energy, tools, so that we can live productive lives. As you have noticed, that it's not that we went down in membership because of that, but I think it's because nobody knows what we do. I think it's and it's not about going into communities, other communities. It's about bringing them here. Bringing them here. So what happened was I had an idea and it kind of fell through a little bit just because of finances, but to have, and it was actually started with Sue. Sue and Diane actually talked about a harvest festival where people would be, like in Kauai, they would come here, and we got a guy that will do a little dance section for, DJ for an hour and a half. Really rock this place, get a sign up there that says, this is what we do. When I see people, I'm all passionate now, when I see people walking in and going, what is this place? Then that means, I don't know what everybody feels about social media, but that is our next goal. I had an entire plan out for it because people have to know we're here. What do we do differently than they're doing over there? Dogma for one, but it's beyond that. It's not like just come and be as you are. This place is used the way that our ancestors wanted to use, our lineage, this place that we can come, and a safe place, and they call it worship, but actually be in this new thought. Self-love, all of the things that we are. And it's not that we're not doing it, but they don't know. Why don't we have kids? Because parents, and I also did my homework, 37 to 47%, hello Quanta, 37 to 47% are not affiliated with any faith base. Maybe 57, depends on where you get your information. 67 states that they are faith-based, they're Christians, and that's fine. That is not our market. Our market is the 37%, 47%. I want to go a place. How this even started was people they went and got these lectures and said, wow, this is where I want to be, but we have no place to go. I have to go back there. I have to go back to my church. I have to go back, not that it was bad, I have to go back there, even though this really turns me on, this new thought, Ernest Holmes, we have our own power? Love is leading the way? Oh my God. I mean, if people really knew what this teaching really is, we could not fit them in here. But it's nobody's fault. It's about getting out there and letting it. So that was my first big plan for the year, to have this open house, not an open house where just come in here, dancing, things for the kids, slides, all this stuff out there, you know, pancake breakfast in the morning, hot dogs and everything, so that the community can go, I feel safe to go in there now. It's a party. And then we have what we do here. We have information, we have booths, we have all of this stuff. Very exciting. And it got, because you mentioned, Sue, the Harvest Festival. So that's kind of where we're at as far as that. As far as social media is a must. As far as the children, we must hire someone to go out and really not go out in the streets and go after kids. Somebody, and I understand, you know why these churches are packed, besides if they believe in what they believe? They believe it because there's a whole bunch of kids over there, and all the kids want to go where the kids are. Do you think the kids go, I want to go to that church, or let's go over to CSL? No, the parents do. And there's a lot of young people that have been giving some beautiful advice to us. Young people want this. And I'm talking young people, 20s, 30s, mostly 30s, and a little bit more, which are now my young people, the 50-year-olds. But they come in here and they say, we want that. We want wisdom. We want something that tells us we can do that, something different. So it's not that we don't do it, but it's about getting the marketing. So this year we are focusing upon marketing. I want this to, and it looks like I'm non-committal, but I don't want just a little thing, well, they'll put out a balloon over there. No, this has to be where they're driving down the street and they're, what the hell is going on over there? I always wondered that sign. I always wondered who they are. And then they can come in and find that out, be with community. But it takes about 2 months to 3 months to really market it. You can't just put up, I know we're in this thing, put up a flyer and they all come. No, they don't. They need more. So I'm very excited. We thought we would raise a little more, with all honesty, with the telethon. So I was budgeting a little bit more on the telethon coming through to put out I would say, just off the top of my head, about $5 grand to have that kind of a party, including, I've been pricing and doing about $5 grand. Get the people over here. We're going to ask them, can we put a sign on this side right here that says what we do? We have the paper coming over here and saying, we're going to interview our wonderful Carol, and they're going to do that, look at this, and then they're going to go, oh, that's what they do. That's a beautiful mural. We had another person walk over the other day and said, I followed the music. And here I am. His girlfriend split on him, but he came in and did that. So that part I'm excited about, this new way of reinventing something that has always been there. But they just don't know it. And the more we can say, this is what you get when you walk through those doors. You get inspired. You get the opportunity to be more than you are, but it takes the education. So that's on that one. They cut all their stuff, so I would talk more. You know how so another sense of community and connection. Attending CSL Kauai offers a sense of belonging. The center fosters genuine relationships among members through social events, support groups, and volunteer opportunities. Right? Focus on joy. This year we're not going to go in. We're not going to go in this year with 9,000 things that we're going to accomplish, so that I feel overwhelmed, the congregation feels overwhelmed. This is something I want to really bring up. Volunteerism. I know from really strong background that I've interviewed a few coordinators, and they said, and Canada was one of them, they said there is no way for a center to survive if they do not have a strong volunteer base and a strong funding base. And the reason is because this is why. So here's the snapshot that we all get. Why don't we have this one? We really want to make it even more transparent. People are saying, let's go out and help people clean up. Let's go do all of that. Isn't that lovely? Except for the fact that we had our cleanup yesterday. How many people? 2. You and the other person? Yeah. Is this bad boys and girl time? No. More members, more people, more families, people coming in. This is the thing. Why would we even entertain another thing if we're sitting here on Labyrinth night, 1 person, beach cleanup, 2 people? It just means that there's another energy that has to be taken up. It means that we must let people know what we do and increase our membership. So that's what we're doing. We're going to increase our membership, have a hoedown, get them in here, let them know what we're doing. And then, what's the third one? Marketing. We have a marketing person in another country. Sorry. But it's really good because they do everything, but they don't charge that much money. So but to them, it is a lot. So it's all in perspective. And so that's what we're doing. We have beautiful people, these wonderful people, constantly doing everything behind the scenes, the websites, the whole thing. So, yes. So I got to get back to where we decide to thrive. So our key focuses are this: building a vibrant youth program or not. Because there's a lot of centers, and you had a very big, Reverend Suzanne, big youth. But there are some centers, I called it, we do our homework. How's your youth? We don't have any. We have 3. We have 2. We have 1. And that's because we're not replenishing with people in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and we're not doing that. And once we do that, we'll have families. You don't think that families, I talked to a woman on the path, and she said, just to be able to be nurtured while somebody's with my kids, nurturing them, how great that would be. And I said, well, that's what we can do. And so we started to talk, call your friends. Most of the people don't want their kids, that group of people want their kids in something like this, so they're a little bit freer. So, growing membership and strengthening community connections, and expanding spiritual education as a way of life. I just told somebody the other day, well, how would you describe, I said, it's called spiritual practicality, practical spirituality. We get to take it into our lives. That's the big thing. We don't just have to check in. I'm not putting them down. I'm just saying, check in on Sunday. When I was a Catholic, I checked in on Sunday. See you next time. And that's all I did. And whew. So, an open house. Sacred Journey, we've changed that as well. The ones that we bring here went from 20 to 10. So we've made it an intimate experience. Pay a little more, get a little more intimacy. That's how and people are starting to really enjoy that. We have concert series. People have asked about bringing people in. Dawson will be back to do a wonderful workshop for us, and he's so generous. He does it as a full benefit for us, and I really appreciate that. Also bringing in people like I'd like to bring Makana here. I want us to start getting on those names. We're going to bring Gary Lynn Floyd. You don't know who he is? Look him up. He's right in the New Thought. And he's coming in May. But what I'm trying to do is, and we're going to also implement the pulpit switching. That means we go to their center, they come here, and that way everyone gets a taste of something new, even though I don't know if you can get any more dynamic than we are, but there is possibility of that. But that's what we're really wanting to do. We have a strong mainland membership, and they do it. Why? Because they believe in this. So that's that. Youth program revamp, and facilities. We now have a camera, by the way, in 2025, surveillance, and it's been really helping because we are able to see what's going on here at night. We've been very, very safe, and I think that's almost me. So let's go over the 3. We need to, and if we don't, we don't, but we need to build a vibrant youth. And I don't mean if it don't, I'm just saying that we either put our heart into it, as you have done, all volunteers, we either put our heart into it, or we just go, we can be a vibrant center without youth. I mean, we have to make up that choice. That's not my choice. I was a youth leader for many years. And then we need to grow our membership. And the way we're going to do that is by letting people know that we are here and by getting very clear on what we're doing here. We can offer something that we don't want to copycat this. We have a beautiful, we're on the Hongwangji property. We have an opportunity for all the people that need something different that they don't want there, and they have all this, is it a religion? They have an opportunity. So that's what we're going to focus on. What does it take? It takes money, it takes spirit, it takes excitement, it takes everything. It takes all of those things. So I think that I'm done with thriving in 2005, 20. Oh, the third is, sorry. Oh no, yeah, expanding spiritual education as a way of life. When we first came here, we were nonstop classes, and now they have dwindled as well. We're going to go home and cry? No, I don't think so. We're going to make decisions and move forward and know that we have a power within us that doesn't care about statistics, but does care about decisions and being very clear. I think a lot of it is because we're not clear about what we're really actually doing here and what we can offer. People go somewhere if they can get something to take with them. And I believe we have that.
And I believe that the best way for people to know what we're doing is by us living it. When people see you happy and they see you having amazing prosperity and they see you having amazing relationships and you have answers to things, then they want to go, like when Harry met Sally, I want what she's having. So for me, I believe that comes from actually taking this teaching, understanding what it is, and living it, and not being afraid to say, oh, I go to this place. It's really helpful. It's positive. It makes me feel good about myself. I just did this because of that, and I'm now more prosperous than I was. I was on the verge of bankruptcy, but now I know I have the tools, blah, 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 whatever it is. But I really believe that we could go do all the marketing that we want, which we should, but that we are the marketing team. Our
Right.
example of how we live is the marketing team.
And to let
So-
people know, nobody ever says where they go. Yes, and we've had feedback. Oh, I tell them, but they don't want to go there. Well, then that's fine. I'm not going to go lasso somebody and bring them in, but I want Angela to come up.
Okay.
Because I was supposed to do that at the
All
very
right,
end.
and yeah, so we don't really proselytize. That's not what our philosophy is. We don't go to other churches or anybody to go, come on in, or please.
We don't
you
go
come-
door to
We're going to
door.
save your soul or whatever. That's not what we're built on. So Angela, come on up.
So I just wanted her because, it's been a time for her to try to. We're always saying, where are they? Where are the volunteers? Go ahead. Oh.
Good morning. Thank you. First of all, I want to take a moment to thank all of you who are consistently here and show up to support CSL Kauai. You know who you are. Whether it's setting up for events, lending a hand before and after service, or helping in the kitchen, or helping behind the scenes, your dedication and love makes such a difference. You are the heartbeat of this community, and we truly could not do it without you. Today, I'd also like to extend an invitation to those of you who haven't yet had a chance to step up into the beautiful energy of volunteering here. CSL Kauai thrives because of the collective efforts of its members. Whether you have an hour a week, a few hours a month, or a unique talent to share, your contribution truly matters. Volunteering isn't just about giving time, it's about community, experiencing fulfillment, and being a part of something greater than ourselves. When we come together in service, we amplify the love and the light that CSL Kauai shares around the world. There are plenty of opportunities to serve. Come to a volunteer social on the first Tuesday of each month at 10 o'clock to find out what our volunteers are doing. We discuss upcoming events and projects that need attention. Thank you for being a part of this special community, and I look forward to working side by side with even more of you in the days to come.
Thank you. Let's give it up for Angela. She does a lot here. Yeah. Okay, so the time you've all been waiting for.
Oh, You pass them out, yeah?
Yeah, we're going to pass them out. I have them here.
Angela, financials? Oh, you have them. Never mind.
Do you have one, Roseanne?
Here, give them to Angela. She'll pass
Okay. Oh, here. If there's not enough, I don't know how many people are here. I only made 30 copies. I didn't want to waste too much paper. So you might want to look on together. Okay, so I want to address something. I'm the one that does the books in this center, and I have my thumb on it. But I don't do it alone. I have her, Roseanne, that stands by me, and she puts this report together with me. I also have a board of trustees that approves our financials every single solitary month. So I just wanted to say that because I just wanted to say it. That's all. As we go forward, and we do our best to make the best decisions for the center because we know the kind of funds we have and what we can do with them. And one of the things is the pledging. If you look, what was the pledge last year? Do we have it down here? It was like. No, we don't have it. No, I don't know if we had it down. But last year, for instance, the pledges were like $67,000, and we had close to a $300,000 budget. And you can see on here our bottom line on our income was $267,000. Am I right? Yeah, $830 was the bottom line on our total income. But we only had pledges of $67,000. Now, if we had to run this center on $67,000, we wouldn't be able to do it. We can barely do it on that. And it's just the realism. It also shows the principle that we live by, that we trust and live. And but we deal in cash for the most part. We deal in cash, and we can't spend money we don't have. So last year we got a little bit under, and we had some things we had to do that. But we have a very generous congregation, I believe, and we have a lot of people off island who sustain us a lot. I mean, I would say 2/3 of what we bring in, no, maybe not 2/3, at least 50% of what we bring in comes from off island. And these people hardly ever come here. There's people that have been giving to the center from day one, every single solitary month, and they've never been here. We had a gentleman that just passed away a couple of years ago. I didn't even know who he was, but he was so inspired by my blogs that every year he would send a tithe every month to us.
Remind me, I think he was from Wisconsin.
Yeah, Donald Carlson. It was Donald. And then he bequeathed to us at the end of his life. But
he came in out of the blue. I mean, we don't know really how he found us.
Right. We only know that we trust this principle, and we just trust it. Do I get stressed over money in our center? Yes, I do. I mean, I sometimes I'm sitting there going, oh, how are we going to make this work? And I shift everything around and try to do the best that we can. But I thank you for sustaining us and to sustaining yourself so that we can be here. And if you look at this, you'll see that we had a bequeath and an IRA contribution this year that was a lot of that. 63,000 of that came from that, right? And then our telethon, which brought in 20. So it happens. It just happens. So I have a lot of faith, and I believe in what I do as far as being a spiritual practitioner, and I believe in this science. So anyway, but I don't think we need to go through each item, but what we need to do is maybe ask questions, or do you have something to say?
I don't, but other than saying, I'm not sure that some people, well, this was a few years ago, some people thought because we were a spiritual community that we didn't have to pay rent, things like that. It's like, okay, let me help you understand that we pay rent, we pay for the lights, we pay for everything. And so, that's what some people don't understand about finances. And I've always worked with finances most of my life, starting at age 13. So I definitely know about finances, even though I'm not a certified public accountant, anything like that. But I've had a lot of experience with many organizations.
We just make sure everything balances out at the end of every month. We want to know that, yeah.
Can I just say one thing about that? Since day one in this center, it doesn't do well for the nerves, but we've never had a budget based on the pledges. That's why this year we did not do it. I said this is becoming ridiculous to just keep saying pledges. We like the idea that they are, but I find it interesting, and I'd like anybody that could ever explain it, except for the principle in which we live by, that you could be every year so little in pledges and come out so high. I think that there is something to say to that. And one thing I have to say when I watch her do books, she's got a new name. There's a lot of stress, as you well know, to anybody who does the book. But I call her now the miracle worker, because it is a miracle. And now it's a normal-cle that we've been able to be here on 12, not based on, we've asked other churches, do you get, and our great Reverend Jonathan, he said our budget is $400,000, and we are pledged $400,000 whatever it is, we're pledged, we let him know. So, but he also has a big
so it's not like about you guys giving more. It's about more people.
Right.
That's what it's about.
Right. Exactly.
More people, more members, to see if it's really important that we're here. Yes. I really want to know that this year. We have 3 more years in this building. Is it important enough for Center for Spiritual Living Kauai to be here? That's what we have to find out. Because we're not going to be here forever. We're all getting older, right? Is it going to go forward? Is there going to be new blood that's going to say, yeah, I love this. I want to take it forward for you? I mean, yeah. So, or whatever. I think I stay in the present moment, but I'm also looking to the future, too, at the same time. So I think we have to find out, is it important for Center for Spiritual Living Kauai to be here? Yes. Whatever. So anything else?
So if you want us to go line by line, we're happy to do so. However, it might be better just to ask if you have questions about any of the lines.
Yeah.
Let me do this first so that...
Who is that?
You were talking about reaching out to people, and you did talk about having some kind of an event, and I was thinking something kind of common that happens that people are really into and could definitely see them coming to Hawaii for would be kind of a healing fair. They have these green festivals, healing festivals.
I'm only going to stop you because if you have a suggestion...
Say it at the very end. We're going to write them all down.
No, you know what we want you to do?
This is only finances.
We want you to write it down and give us that idea because we will look at it. Yeah, but if we start going to everybody's... You understand what I'm saying, right?
I guess I was just... that was pretty much what I was talking about, different ways to raise money.
No. We're not... We just... If everybody starts giving suggestions, we're going to end up in a suggestion meeting.
I wonder if you have any questions about this piece of paper in your hand.
Yeah, but thank you. Please write it down. Please email us, and because we look at everything.
And we know those fairs too. We have people that do them.
Anybody with questions about the financials?
Desiree?
Desi Lou.
I'm just now reading this, and I'm just curious, what is worship service expense? What is that?
Worship services expenses is anything like mostly hospitality, flowers, those kinds of things. Okay, a lot of hospitality though.
I think the worship might have thrown you.
Yeah, I know. It was just the category in QuickBooks that probably one that I came with when I was in LA that was called worship expenses. But it's mostly hospitality. That's what it is. Hospitality and flowers. And anything else?
Go ahead.
Ron Stover?
I just noticed that there's a tithing expense. I'm not sure what that would be.
What do you mean?
There's an expense
that used to be our charitable contribution. We call it tithing now because we give out.
Yes.
We give out. And we give to those who spiritually nourish us. So that's what we give out to. Yes, Sue Buckley?
Qantas.
I'm looking at the annual income by year, and it looks like in 22-23 we're in the hole on paper. In 2024 we're not. Is that as a result of that bequeathment, or are there other factors that brought
We
that
had more
number up?
expenses in 2023 because that was when we moved in here. And we did raise money, but we had a lot of expenses to renovate this place.
In
A lot.
22, yeah.
Does that make sense?
In 22 to get into 23, because
Yeah.
18,000 in the hole.
I can't hear you, Sue, for some reason.
18,000 in the hole in 22 is huge. In 2022,
Okay.
and that was for the move?
No, we moved here last year. I don't know what to tell you about that because I'd have to go back and look at it, but you can see that we brought in 215,000 and spent 233,000. So
The previous year.
so I don't know.
in-
This should match up to all the other reports that you got. There's nothing different.
Yeah, definitely. 2022's income was 215,000, and plus, but 2021 was 240. So, COVID.
Yeah, okay.
Sometimes stuff overlaps from year to year. If that makes sense. Like we're down one year and then it bleeds into the next year. Yeah. Did we answer your question? Yes. All right.
I noticed the personnel costs. 2021 were 117. This
Well, let me-
2024 for 117. I assume that includes you two plus anybody else?
What is
Personnel costs.
the personnel that it went down? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, the reason
remain
it
the
went
same.
down,
Yes.
I'm going to tell you right now, is we moved some of our stuff over to tithing. We felt like, for instance, that these musicians spiritually nourish us every single solitary Sunday. So instead of putting it tithing out, we put it to people that spiritually nourish us. And there's a lot of people in this center that spiritually nourish us. So that's probably why. Am I answering your question?
Yes. Now
'Cause
this
so
includes,
it got out of
this includes
salary.
you and Patrick.
Yes.
This includes you and Patrick and Angela.
Oh, Angela. It's me and Patrick and Angela and
How
some
do
of
you
the musicians.
survive with a note? Doesn't look like there's any increases here for 5 years.
That's a
That's a
good
good
question. We do.
What's going on?
We're not in
other words,
debt.
You need some help. We need some more money coming into this place to support
Absolutely.
you guys.
We got a
With
5%
inflation, there
raise
is
this year.
inflation. Excuse me?
We got a 5% raise this year. I know what you're saying,
No,
Cal.
I do know what you're saying.
And I appreciate it.
And I know, and the question is kind of like with the pledges. People ask, "How do you do it?" Sometimes I look, Rita and I look at each other and we say, "We don't understand," and we're not like in a mafia or anything.
we're not like
They're
in
not
debt.
adding extra money into our checking account.
We might be paying a little bit of Italy off, but we're not like in debt. Okay.
No, thank you. There's no other way around. Yes, it can be. Yeah, it can be. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Plus, Quanta is really expensive.
Especially since Carol got her on Tasty Treats. Okay.
She started it. Okay, go ahead. Anyone else before we move to the...
Other questions? So if you want to move away from this, you can ask us other questions. As long as it's not a suggestion, which we want you to write down
So
because
Peggy here,
we're
just so
not-
you, logistics. Peggy's going to, any questions that we can answer right now is fine, but a suggestion like that wonderful one about a fair, then we have that down, and then when we get together or we have a general another kind of meeting, then we'll go through all of those lists and say, oh, she suggested that, we already have a list from Anna Myers that we're going to go over with her personally. So,
Is she
any
here?
other questions?
Where is she?
Just in general.
Wow.
Yes.
Yes, Louise.
Is it going to be really that we're actually going to leave in this hour thing?
Yeah,
right
well,
now?
go ahead.
What is it?
Louise, go
Did-
for it.
Well, I was just looking at the net income from 21, 2,000, and then, of course, we were negative the next 2 years, and then we ended up with 15,000 net this past year. I mean, it's a lot of list here for expenses and what you make, and it's a lot of work involved. I would like to see, I don't know, a net income 25 or 50,000 every year. I mean, that would be really,
That would
really
be
nice.
great.
I mean, yeah, what needs to be done, you know, so
Thank you.
hopefully we could get there.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah.
And
But-
like I said, it's not about you all giving more. It's
Right,
about us
exactly.
bringing more people in, because if we don't have people, then,
And
and
I
it's just
think-
like volunteers can also, people get burnt out,
Right.
you know, volunteering all the time, and we need to support each other.
But this is why I wanted on Luis. He's got a very good point, because most people, and I really believe this, and it's not that I'm upset about it. It's just that you're not here. None of you are here 24/7. Like there's 3 or 4 of us that have that pulse. So it is easy to not really understand fully the whole picture. And I was telling, and why should you? I mean, it's kind of like, you know, you don't want us to call you every day and go, you know, wow, this is a really tough one tonight, guys. I mean, but I just know that recently there's been a lot of snapshots taken of this center without any knowledge of really what it's taking to run this center. And it's not a violin, it's just that it takes. They say, why are you all doing it? If you were here and you saw it, you'd know why we were probably doing a lot of this stuff. And so this year, hearing these kind of things, Louise, Cal, these are the things that strengthen us too. To say, no, enough is enough. We're going to do this and still be a loving, wonderful community. I think spirituality gets that bad, we've talked about it, you and I, that bad rap of, you know, we're spiritual. So, you know, well, obviously we're pretty good at manifesting because we got that happened. So let me go over to Suzanne. I'm sorry.
Well, first of all, I want to thank every person on this board, because it is a working board. Absolutely. And it takes a lot of work. So thank you all for your support. And I'm wondering why there aren't more rotating board members.
Because they're allowed, why
Are is it open for other people
Yes.
to come in who have maybe specialties, you know, in say, you can
Yes,
imagine what.
there will be next year, because these people will have pretty much, except for Roseanne, done their terms.
Well, I thought
So,
it would
yeah.
be helpful to you to have some, you know, who have experience in this or that or so on, to add to what's already here, who are absolutely amazing.
Right.
So
There is, just so to add on that, there are qualifications to be on the board. One meaning that you have to be really steeped in this philosophy, and also, is it a fit? And I don't mean a fit. I'm talking about 1 year we were going to do it, but there was too much ecclesiastical people on it, and there was no men. And then we had Charles, and he was man enough for everybody with the. So yeah, that's a good question. That's a good question.
So, like I said, their terms are ending next year, so we will.
But it isn't about numbers.
But we don't need more.
any more than what we have. We just need different.
Yeah, we don't need more board members, because we don't have that big of a center right now. And so we're fine with what we have. Any more than that would be crazy right now for us. Yes.
Can you give a little bit more information about how long the terms are?
The
when
terms are-
is next year? What, you know,
The
is that?
terms are 3 years, and then they are allowed to up their term. They're allowed to up their term after 3 years.
Okay.
Okay, and then after 6 years, they have to step down.
Okay,
Okay.
and then how do you choose the board members? How does that happen?
We have a search team, and we see if they match the qualifications, and then we talk to them, and we see what they're, you know, why they really want to be a board member, because it's really important that the board members support the vision of the ministers and of the center, right? So yeah, it's all that, and then yeah.
And
so
then
if
does
you're
the board vote? Do people?
well, the boards that we've had so far, the first one we had to put into place because we didn't know anybody.
Right.
The other ones, I don't remember how it happened, but I think it was because the people left in the middle of a term, and we had to replace them. So we didn't have to vote them in according to our bylaws.
Right.
But now we're getting to that point where we're going to have to do that. right?
So would the sustaining members have a vote?
Yeah,
Sustaining
How would that-
members,
how would
people,
that work?
sustaining members, I could send you the bylaw thing that says what it is, but it's sustaining members, people that are giving time, talent, and treasure. It's people that are steeped in this philosophy. They've at least taken classes for
And
a
you're
year.
available.
That you're available, and that you're available to volunteer and to be, because it's a lot of work to be on a board. It's not like just going to a meeting.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
anyway, thank you. So yes, so it will be coming up next year.
All right. Yeah.
I know that we discovered that the plant, the building, needs a lot of maintenance. And I know that it's kind of a mix between us, you know, upgrading it a little bit and the organization actually fixing some of the things. But, you know, we discovered that the electrical plant needs actually probably replaced in 3 years.
Right.
You know,
Yeah,
and that
we need
kind of
to
stuff.
yeah.
So are we still kind of like trying to get them to support us on that?
Well,
or-
they do support a lot of it. We just haven't had that meeting with them.
We haven't had that meeting because we have like we feel that they should pay for it, at least a part of it. It's
Yeah.
their building.
You're right.
And the electrical is so old in this building that it, you know, we had some problems a couple of months back, and the electrician came in and kind of put a Band-Aid on it, but he said it's going to happen again because the system is so old.
Right.
And it's not like, I said, well, is it because we're doing something? And he goes, no, it's because it was never used. And now all of a sudden, it's like he goes, you have an old car, and all of a sudden you start driving it over the place. And then all of a sudden it's going to start having problems because you're driving
So
it
yeah,
all the
we're
time.
aware of that. We've all
So
been
yes,
on-
we have to approach Roberta and their board to see.
And they've
'cause-
been pretty good about certain things. The toilet, you know, they gave us the new toilets. I mean, so you can do that, but things have changed in the world of renting or leasing. They used to, and they've been changed for about 25, 30 years now. I was in shock as being a renter for most of my life that I thought I just called them and they did it, you know, because they owned it. But now, business-wise, now at our home, he will come and he takes care of whatever goes wrong. But here, you know, I just had a friend start a business and she had
well, James did it.
yeah, 100,000 in redesigning this thing, and they didn't give anything for it. So anyway,
Yeah.
yes.
What else?
Anyone else before
I hope
we
that
close
answered
out?
your question, Maureen.
No.
I mean, hope that answered your question.
Wait. I'm sorry. So it said rent expenses was $63,000. That was just basic rent since they're not taking care of maintenance. I just did a little multiplication over 30-year mortgage would be about just under $1,900,000. And I was wondering why you guys just didn't purchase.
Because
a
we didn't
plate.
have the money.
We don't have the money to purchase.
Oh, you didn't.
I couldn't. I wouldn't.
No collateral.
Well, and also it wasn't for sale. We could,
No, not
you
this
know,
place.
No, I know.
Not this place.
No,
just
we have
anything.
a vision, but
like in
unless-
Honolulu, where there's a lot more
but
traffic.
Just so you'll know, yeah, we didn't purchase it because you just saw our state of finances. It wouldn't make much sense. And then we purchase something, and then we have to pay all the expenses, all of them, or whatever the thing is. So I'm just saying that we're not, as a community, at that point that we can buy anything at this time.
I mean,
And
I would-
as a reminder, if we're not aware on the prices of real estate on this island, how they have skyrocketed. So,
I mean, we
Okay.
have a really good deal rent-wise on this place.
Oh, God,
We're
yes.
paying like $5,200 a month, plus our water, plus our electricity, plus our sewer and all those
And the
kind of things.
professional building
But
was
I don't know
just
where
a
you
little
would get
bit
a
under that.
$5,200 a month rent for this size of a space. So we feel
Yeah.
really grateful that, and it's helping them out too, because they didn't have any money before we came, and I know that we've helped them. They've been doing renovations over there like crazy.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we're going to have this question, and then we're going to get you all out of here. What?
Just talking about, is it on? Yeah, about repairs and maintenance, etc. Obviously, you have a lease, and in that lease, it should state what they are responsible for.
yes.
Yes.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
So, for instance, for your electrics, what does it state?
it's really hazy when you read it. And they don't really want to fix things, so it's hazy. And
But they will.
But they will.
They will.
I mean, they've been really good about
We
it.
have a great relationship with them,
But it's almost like anything that happens in here is our responsibility. It's not theirs. It kind of says that, which for commercial realty, it is like that. It's your
Yes.
responsibility. But the problem is we adopted inherited a place that was very old, and needs stuff. So
we negotiated for about 4 months, and what we did was I asked those questions, big time. I asked them, I said, you mean, like, if the roof caves in right now, who's paying for that? I mean, that was my way of, and they would go, of course, they would, but the thing was, people, not even out of, spite, they just don't, people are going, if they can do it, then, so everything that happens, I really trust them, and I really trust the
really
president of their
people.
board, because she's high integrity.
yeah,
Okay.
so we're going to approach them about this electrical thing. We just haven't had the chance
Yeah,
to.
I know they'll work with us.
Yeah,
So
all right.
before you all tear out of here, I'm going to, Okay.
Okay, comment as long as it's not.
Okay.
All right. Just,
Go ahead.
go ahead.
Yeah, this is just a thought. If you want families, and again for future generations, I've heard this from several young families. If there could be a daycare center that's affordable and reliable, that would bring in so many people. So just throwing that thought out there.
Okay.
And also to have
She's
the
writing it down.
families rotate volunteering to make it affordable, and then, but again, a daycare. I have heard so many young mothers say, where we're located in Kauai, so just a daycare, and that would bring in the youth.
Yeah,
that would really open the Coconut Wireless. You want a good daycare.
Well, here, just let me say this real quick about daycare. Yes, I agree with they would like to do that, but we need their parents to be here with
Oh,
them.
that's what I'm saying.
But,
Get the
but
parents.
not everybody goes to the centers. When that's wonderful daycare, reasonable, but we need the membership also from these families.
Are you saying like an independent daycare? Like we're running a daycare?
She's just saying.
I'm just a suggestion,
Yeah.
and I think actually if you're a member, then you get the affordable daycare. That could be a suggestion.
I was just throwing out that other
Angela would love that, having children running all over here.
Yeah.
So let me close this. Out.
Anyway, we'll ruminate on it.
They've oh. Right. No, we really going to move on, you guys.
Suggestions need to be written down.
Because we're not going to discuss the suggestions anyway today. Okay? Yeah, we're going to just get the suggestions, and then we're going to talk about it. Okay, so let's just take a moment to say, ooh, thank you. And I know that we have come together with one thing in mind, and that is the advancement of this incredible safe space that we have all created from the foundation of love. And I know that whatever is required to go forward in a big way, not a surviving way, not just making it through way, but an absolute thriving this year. And I get out of the way of all of the hows and just do what is ours to do, and that is to move forward with absolute confidence that everything is unfolding. And yes, treat and move your feet. But I do know that right here in this moment that we have come together from a place of love, and that is what will grow our finances so much to overflowing that we'll wonder if this meeting ever took place in our future. So I just say thank you. Thank you for knowing that there is a quantum field, a field that knows no time, no space, no limitation, doesn't know the difference between millions of dollars and a penny. So with that, I just say thank you. Thank you. I release it to a law that always says yes, love will lead the way, and the law has made it so. And so it is. Thank you.
It's really, thank you.
Caliente. Come give some love, and I haven't gotten any love from you.